Hello and welcome to the Inner Game of Entrepreneurship podcast. I'm your host, Sarah, and we are back with our June series about exactly what you need to be doing if you set a big, stretchy, sexy, hairy, scary revenue goal for 2026 back in January, and now you're looking up and it's June and you are nowhere near your goal. All this month, every single week, I'm going to be telling you exactly what you need to do to get your revenue back on track, to get yourself back on track, to grab the second half of the year and make sure that you still have a chance of hitting that goal. We're not going to just say, oh, well, now it's summer's slow, and then it's going to be winter, and then winter's slow. By that logic, it's never not slow. I don't subscribe to any of that. There is never a bad time to sell. People are buying things all year round. I don't know about you, but I have bought things today. I'm sure you've bought some things today. We're always buying things. Everyone's always buying things. Summer is not a bad time to sell. Winter is not a bad time to sell. The year is not forfeit. You've got 6 months left. That is plenty of time. So even if you're looking at your goal and you're like, I'm several $100,000 away, and your thought process behind that is like, well, now it's not going to happen. We just have to start over next year. No, I want your thought process to be, why couldn't I make it happen? Wouldn't it be fun if we could make it happen? What if my year-long goal didn't even need a year? What if I could pull this off in 6 months? Then I'll know next year that I could double my goal. Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be fun? Why not you? Why not now? You know what I'm saying? So if you didn't listen to last week's episode, the one that came out on June 1st, go back and listen to that one, because in that episode, I talked about how we got here. If you're in this position, how did we land ourselves in this position? And I gave you some common things that I see CEOs do that can land us in this position. But today I'm going to talk about what you do. Now that you've gotten honest, you've recognized that this is what has happened, you've gotten clear with yourself about why this happened and how you found yourself at this moment. Today, I'm going to tell you what to do. So if you didn't listen to last week's episode, go listen to that and then come back. It's only 19 minutes long. Great. I'm glad you're back. So what do I do? First thing we do is we get honest about the math. How much revenue have you generated, right? It's not what you wanted. You're not necessarily on track, but how much is it? It's just a number. Whatever story you may be telling yourself about the number, whatever emotions you may be feeling about the number, we need to separate those things. I don't want to get too lost in the sauce with this, but as somebody who used to have very big feelings about numbers, both the numbers, for me, it was the numbers in my bank account and numbers on the scale, had the power to ruin my day or make my day. I gave the numbers a lot of emotional significance, and they had the power to make me anxious. They had the power to make me sad. They had the power to make me feel insecure. They had the power to make me panic. They also had the power to make me elated. They had the power to make me happy. They had the power to make me feel good about myself. But all of that was because of the stories I was telling myself, what I was making those numbers mean. The numbers are just the numbers. They are just a measure of value, right? Here's how many dollars are in the bank account. It's just, the number is just the number. Doesn't mean anything. So if you are looking at the number, if you're looking at the amount of revenue generated and you're making it mean something about you, you're making it mean you're not good at business, you're making it mean that you failed, you're making it mean that there's no chance you're going to hit your goal this year after all, like whatever story you're telling yourself, whatever feelings, doubts, fears, stresses are coming up about the numbers, that can cause us to start panicking and start making not very good decisions. It can also cause us to get into freeze mode where we don't make any good decisions. So we want to just give ourselves the opportunity to separate all that out and just go, we have to get sober and clear about what the numbers are and let them just be information. They are just data. So how much have you generated? We got to know that first. Because once we know that, we can do just the straight up subtraction. What was my goal for the year and how much have I made so far? What is the balance? What do I need to make? And then that gets divided by 6, and you know how much you need to make per month for the rest of the year to actually catch up with that goal. The math is the math. Now, once you know that number, There may be a second rush of emotions. Oh my God, that's such a big monthly number. I've never made that much per month before. I don't know if I can really do that. Again, that's all about what you're making the numbers mean. This is the inner game of entrepreneurship. The entrepreneurship side is the math is the math. The inner game side is looking at those numbers and feeling like you're going to puke because you've never made that much in a month before and your brain is telling you a story that that's not even possible for you. That's where you do your inner work. That's where you have to dial in as a CEO and go, oh, there's some stuff I'm telling myself about what's possible for my business that may not really be beneficial for me in this moment. You might have to attend to that. A really helpful question to ask when we might be feeling that, when we're looking at that number and going, whoa, now that's a really big monthly number. That feels a little daunting. Is, do we have a sales plan that would potentially allow us to hit that number? That's what we need to look at. We're getting real practical. We're getting real simple. How much money do I need to make in the rest of the year from where I'm at now to hit my goal divided by 6? That's how many months I have. And then we got to go to the annual sales plan. And we need to go, here's what I was planning to sell for the rest of this year. Do these plans allow me to hit that number? Am I planning to sell things that could potentially even generate that much per month? Very simple thing to look at. If the answer is yes, go hard on the plan. If the answer is no, what needs to change in my plan? Do I need to add another launch? Do I need to launch an evergreen thing? Do I need to reprice or restructure some of my offers? What needs to happen here to make it so that I actually have a sales plan over the next 6 months that would allow me to hit this goal? Another really lovely thing to look at is over the first half of the year, Q1 and Q2, what has brought in the most revenue? And what does that tell you about what you might want to focus on for the second half of the year? The camera just shook because I can't. Another thing to look at is what is not generating any money in my business or not that much, and maybe not be the right thing to focus on for the second half of the year. Especially sometimes we get into things where we have a project that's really fun and we really like it, but it's not really making us a lot of money. That might not be something to focus on when we have this big financial goal to hit. And then what's not generating that much money, but it's taking up a lot of your time? And what do we need to do about that? So we got to just get honest about the math. And once we've done that, we've gotten honest about the math, we've gotten clear on the numbers, we know our monthly goal, we've checked it against our plan, we've audited what's working and what's not. We're looking at our sales plan and we're like, okay, yes, I have a plan over the next 6 months that if all of these things I'm planning to do go well, then I'm going to hit this goal and this is possible. If we don't have that, we got to get that. Once we have that, the next thing you got to do is cut everything that won't generate revenue. Cut all of your non-revenue generating activities for at least 90 days. Y'all, give me Q3 where you don't do a single thing that doesn't generate revenue. Here's what I mean. This may not be the time to create a brand new offer. This is probably not the time to redesign your website or build a brand new funnel or create a brand new lead magnet or start a podcast or learn a new platform and migrate your whole system to a new backend platform. None of these things are things that might help you hit a sales goal. Those are backend things for your business that could be really potentially valuable later. But if you have a sales goal, like if you have a revenue goal, the vehicle to hit your revenue goal is selling. It's selling, it's selling, it's selling. I recently had this conversation with a client who was like, I'm nowhere near my revenue goal. I really want to bring in a cash influx. So I'm thinking about creating an entirely new program. And I was like, pause. And she came to me with it mapped. She knew what it was going to be called. She knew what it was going to cost. She had the program outlined. She was like, is this the direction I should be going? And I was like, I wouldn't. The reason why is because if you're creating an entirely new offer, you're going to have to do all of the branding for it, do all of the design for it, maybe do a photo shoot for it. You're going to have to educate your audience about this brand new offer, which is going to take a bunch of time. You're going to have to bring people in. Always the adoption on a brand new offer is a little bit lower than on a more established offer that has a little bit more brand recognition. That is a whole bunch of work over the next 90 days that is not necessarily revenue generating work. In fact, it's probably going to cost you money on the front end before you make any money on the back end. What I would rather see you do is go take your best selling offer from last year and bring it back. It's been a year since people have seen it. People wanted to get into it the first time. They didn't get in. Let's get them in this time. Don't edit the offer. Don't change the offer. Don't go re-record all the modules in the offer. Update the website with dates, maybe raise the price a little bit, update the checkout page and get it out. Launch it. We got to sell. So this is not the time to go reinvent the wheel in your business. It is not the time to get on Canva and update your graphics, your brandings, your visuals. You're doing a whole bunch of work that's not revenue generating work. You need to cut it. Who remembers that song? You need to cut it. That's it. Your number one question over the next at least 90 days, please, needs to be, will this directly help me make money within the next 90 days? Will this directly help me make money this month? If the answer is no, it goes on the for later list. If you want to recover this year, you're going to need to get ruthlessly focused on one thing, and it's making money. Making money is a simple, direct path. It is. It's simple and direct. It's selling, 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 selling. It is sales conversations. It is DMing past clients and inviting them to re-sign. It is reaching out to people you've worked with in the past and inviting them into a thing that they haven't bought yet. It is retargeting people on your email list who haven't opened an email in a while and inviting them into something that already exists. It's taking all of your past offers, putting them in a bundle with a higher price and putting the bundle on sale and selling the bundle. It is just straight up selling. You should be selling your fucking face off. If you only have 6 months to make most of what you plan to make in a year, selling your face off. That's your goal. All of the long-term spray and pray, market and wait strategies, right? And when I say spray and pray, I mean, I'm just going to make a bunch of posts and sit back and wait for people to come to me. I'm going to design a landing page, design a website, put it up, send people there and hope people book my services. You don't have time. If the goal is to increase the sales, then the vehicle is selling. You got to be selling. ABS, always be selling. So anything that does not generate revenue is not a task to be focused on right now. You need to cut it. Remember your mantra. Will this directly help me make money before the end of the month? If yes, proceed. If no, for later. So I gave you 2 things this week, not even 1. Get honest about the math, figure out what you need to make, and then cut everything that is not a revenue generating activity. That's what I've got for you this week. If you're not on the email list, make sure you're on the email list because I'm giving you the journal prompts, the questions that I asked in this episode. I'm giving them to you all written out on the email list. So you can copy them from the episode. You can journal on them yourself, but you can also just be on my email list and you can copy and paste the questions straight from an email. You would just go to intuitiveedgecoaching.com/pod sign up and sign yourself up for the email list. And if you are listening on the podcast, the link will be in the show notes. If you're watching on YouTube, the link is in the show notes. Get yourself on the email list so that you get all of those questions and you can do them more easily. Let me know if this was helpful for you and make sure you tune in next week for the next set of things you need to do to get your revenue back on track to hit your sales goal in 2026. Okay, love you. Bye.
That's our episode for today. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this. I know there are so many things that you could be doing with your day, so many things you could be listening to, and it means so much that you are here in this community. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment, share it on social media, and tag me at Intuitive Edge Coaching. Share it with a biz bestie who you think needs to hear it and will appreciate it. And take a moment to like to subscribe, and to leave a 5-star review wherever you are listening. It helps me grow this show, and it helps us grow and sustain this brilliant community of entrepreneurs dedicated to doing the inner work. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, love you. Bye.